What about now, Punky? Did we fix it? How about now? Man, why does
I have
this
to edit this in
have,
post.
which never happens?
What happened?
Sound now?
It'll have to happen tonight.
How now, brown cow?
Oh man.
Does the
No,
sound
don't
happen
stop
now?
it.
I'm not
Don't
going to
stop
stop
it.
it. I'm
You
just
don't
waiting for
stop it.
confirmations here. All right, we're good.
All right. So let's try this again. Get ready.
And welcome to the Barrel Buddies. I'm James.
What is that?
And I'm BJ. Welcome back to your weekly whiskey, wine, and all things barrel-aged
Podcast. Zach, welcome back. Says BJ.
Oh my God.
What's happening?
Oh my God.
You're
I
right over
died.
there. You're right
And-
over there.
Podcast is what I was trying to say.
I said it. It's okay. I said it.
Thank you.
Podcast.
Zach, welcome back. Good to see Zach Attack back in the saddle,
What's happening?
joining us for some old Overholt.
Oh, I am
Tonight.
We're gonna do-
excited.
The old
Continuing.
Overholt.
Continuing our bottom shelf bangers series.
And look at that. It's not just regular old Overholt. I feel very Groundhog's Day right now.
Yeah, you get to have it, do it all over again.
If you're watching this, I've already edited it in post, but we already did this without sound.
Yes.
The old Overholt,
Read the stats
but
on
it's
that
old
bottle.
Overholt bonded, which means it's
Oh.
been bottled in bond. So of course, since it's bonded, it's 50% alcohol, 100 proof. And I'll just give you the little update here. So this is a Beam product. We're sticking with some Beam product here. This is a rye whiskey and bottled in bond in accordance with the U.S. government. Old Overholt Bonded is the product of one distillery and one distiller in one single season, barreled for at least 4 years and bottled at exactly 100 proof. Zach, would you give the people what they want and Vanna this beautiful bottle?
Bum, 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 boom, 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 boom.
Hide your eyes.
There you go. Look at that. Old
So
Overholt bonded, 100 proof.
beautiful.
Fantastic, Zach. Fantastic.
Thank you, Zachy. As a quality bottom shelf banger, this product has a lovely
Screw top.
screw top.
All right, while you get the pours going, I want to talk a little bit about the
Tell us the
history
story.
of Old Overholt. So in 1810, Henry Oberholzer
Overholzer.
had his name angelicized to Overholt. You're going to have to look that up if you want to know what that means. But
You mean
basically at LSI, when they saw it, they couldn't figure it out, and they just gave him Overholt. He moved to West Overton, Pennsylvania in 1800. A German Mennonite farmer.
Overholt? Overholzer.
Overholzer.
Moves to-
Oberholzer became Overholt.
And moves to Overton.
Overton, Pennsylvania, 1800. And he came from an area of Germany which was known for their distillation of corn or rye whiskey. And Henry just started brewing or distilling.
Well, yeah, distilling.
So anyway, 10 years later, his son Henry, his son Abraham Overholt
Abraham.
took over kind of management of the operations. You swirled that and it just shot out all over the place.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So anyway,
You're welcome.
Little Overholt for you.
Yeah, a little
there
Overholt
you go.
overspill.
Overholt spritz.
All right. Oh, it smells wretched. Anyway, I didn't mean to cue the.
Where is Overholt from? Like, where was his
hashtag
country of
no
origin?
spoilers.
Germany.
Germany. He was a
Germany.
German Mennonite farmer.
He grew up in a place
Ah.
of Germany where the distillation of rye whiskey was actually very popular.
Yep. So, anyways,
Ah,
his
so
son.
he was still there then, I'm guessing, and then brought it to America.
Yeah. So in 1810, his
Yeah.
son was like, "Hey, Dad, we're turning this into a real business. So in 1810, they decided to do that. And by the 1920s, their official distillery was putting out 12 to 15 gallons of rye whiskey per day.
So listen, in the 1810s, putting out, let's just say 12 gallons of whiskey
That's
a day.
probably, in Pennsylvania, that's probably a respectable amount.
That's
I
respectable.
would say so, yeah. Abraham grew the company rapidly. By 1843, so 23 years later, Baltimore newspapers were advertising Overholt's Old Rye as one of the top distilleries, advertised by name. And by 1859, he changed the name of the business to A. Overholt and Company and Co.
You mean like Abraham Overholt?
Yeah, completed a build out of a new distillery building that was 6 stories high, 100 feet long, and was producing 860 gallons per day by 1859.
Whoa.
That's a lot of booze.
So they are ramping it up.
That's some ramped up production.
Everybody wanted the Overholt.
Apparently. So then in 1881,
Give me some Overholts. Give
in
it to
81,
me. Drink me.
Abraham's grandson, Henry Frick, took over the company.
Frickin' frack.
As one of the country's wealthiest people, the distillery was a sentimental side business for Frick. Oh, because it was this from the family.
Oh, it's a family affair.
Side
Let's
business.
keep it
He's like,
around.
yeah, I'll run your little distillery.
Feeling
here.
20s.
Frick ended up taking on Andrew Mellon as a partner. Wow. Andrew Mellon.
As in the Carnegie Mellon?
Yeah, and then Charles Mock. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but anyway.
So you actually brought up, we were doing a little research. You told us a very interesting story about this exact story and how it was used in a piece of historical fiction. Could you
So
bunny trail that for a minute?
So for those that sound that some of these names were familiar, but in season 3 of Boardwalk Empire, this was part of the major plot.
They were drinking
So-
Overholt.
If you guys remember,
Kind of.
Nucky Thompson was got introduced to Andrew Mellon, and the distillery that was in question for part of the deal between Nucky and Andrew Mellon was the Old Overholt Distillery.
Wow.
Yeah,
So they weren't drinking it. They were actually
I love that.
dealing with the company.
I love that.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So,
All right, good.
there you
Very
go.
cool.
Very cool. Very cool. Little story there. So anyway,
Cool.
that brings us up to almost the 1800s.
Okay.
So
We're in the
1900s.
1800s. So now almost 1900s.
yeah. So in 1888, one of the partners adopted the name Old Overholt as the official name of the company, and added a picture of Abraham Overholt as the logo.
That's that handsome devil.
Well,
on
that's
the bottle.
Abe. Okay.
So
What did Henry look like? Do you
by
think he looked similar?
1900, Old Overholt became a
I think he
national
looked
brand.
worse.
Hmm?
He looked worse. I think that Henry looked worse than
Let me
old
see.
Abraham.
Oh, I thought you said they look like a dwarf.
I think
That's
that
not Henry,
I think
that's Abraham.
right. I think he asked if Henry would look better or worse, and I think it'd be worse.
I mean, Henry.
Abraham already looks like a bad version of Rent a George Washington.
Oh, yeah, he's got the wig and everything. Hell yeah.
All right, so
And he's got the
Overholt
teeth.
by
And the wooden
1900
teeth.
became one of the most respected whiskeys in the country at the time.
What?
In 1900.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow.
So anyway, so Frick ends up dying
Freaking
in
Frank.
1919, and he left his share to Andrew Mellon,
Of course he did.
and that ended family ownership of the company.
Boo.
Off to the Mellons.
Ooh, so Andrew Mellon, like a
No more
quadrillionaire at this point, owns this distillery.
Okay.
And then Prohibition hits. OMG, what are we gonna do?
Let's make
Sell it.
sanitizer.
Conveniently, at the time, Andrew Mellon was associated
Medicinal whiskey.
was very closely associated with the Secretary of the Treasury under Warren G. Harding during Prohibition,
Okay.
and was able to get a permit for Old Overholt to permit for selling medicinal whiskey.
course he
I
was.
called it.
Of course he was.
Yeah.
Medicinal whiskey.
Add that to the teapot scandals.
That's right.
But so in 1925, under pressure from prohibitionists, Mellon sold his share, which was a half at that time, to a New York grocer of the Old Overholt distillery, and
man.
that ended any type of local Pennsylvania ownership,
Oh.
because this guy was out of New York.
Okay.
It's still in Pennsylvania.
So they basically make their own pop off.
So-
Okay.
Joe Rando Grocer here has the company.
That's not their name.
It's Kroger.
They don't really give his name. And he sold it off in 1932. So that was only like 25 to 32. So
It's the National
7 years
Distillers
later.
Products Corporation.
Sold it again to a giant conglomerate, the National Distillers Products Company, which owns more
There
than
it is.
200 brands.
Wow.
So then, you're in the 1930s. Then you're coming up on the World Wars.
America goes to war.
Yeah.
Do you
So
think they were
during
shipping Old Overholt over to Europe?
So we were
here's
shipping
the thing.
bonds and rubber.
So here's what happened. So during World War II, Overholt and other whiskey distilleries were ordered by the government to cease making recreational alcohol and produce industrial alcohol.
What do you use industrial alcohol for?
Sanitizer.
Cleaning tanks. I don't know. Anyway,
Okay.
so after World
Tank
War
cleaning
II,
alcohol.
after World War II ended, whiskey fell out of favor with the
Oh.
American public.
Wow.
So what you're saying is, for
Um,
whiskey prices to come down, we need another world war.
Yeah.
Let's go.
People were
So
into,
anyways-
they were into bathtub gin. That's why.
Right. So most drinkers at that time were actually switching to vodka. And rye whiskey especially fell out of favor. Whiskey fell out of favor. You guys know how trends come and
And-
go,
but-
right?
but
People
rye
didn't
is-
want, they didn't want to taste their whiskey. They didn't want to taste their alcohol. Yeah, they wanted to
Plus, it doesn't
blend the
blend.
vodka and get
Think
messed
about
up.
it. We're talking about the 60s, right? This is like a boom in cocktails. So it totally makes sense that we would see vodka take a big trend, because just think about all the colorful cocktails in all of the martinis, right? Everybody's having martini parties in the 60s.
I thought everyone was doing drugs in the 60s.
Well, not everyone.
The non-drug users.
The non-drug users were drinking vodka.
Anyway, so 1960s is a good point to bring up, because at that time, rye whiskey, all these whiskeys were falling out of favor with the general public.
Okay.
Old Overholt ended up becoming the only nationally distributed straight rye whiskey during the 1960s.
So even though it was the lowest, it was the only
Mhm.
nationally distilled rye whiskey.
Wow.
It was like
You
the
get it
only
coast to
brand that
coast.
really made it.
All right. Good on
The
you.
brand,
old-
so the brand
old- good old
struggled.
Abe.
The brand continued to struggle through
Okay.
the 1970s as sales continued to decline.
Okay.
Still hanging out though.
And then in 1987,
Oh, here comes those wonderful 87 acquisitions.
Old Overholt was sold to the James B. Beam Distilling Company,
Whooping in
there we
and
go.
buying low.
which moved production of the entire Old Overholt distillery to Kentucky.
Wow.
Where it should be. The
So
heart
now
of America.
this is being produced in Kentucky,
Yep,
not in Pennsylvania.
that is correct.
Aha.
Apparently in Tombstone, Arizona, Old Overholt is closely associated with the town and the Old West.
Why?
So is this like cowboy shot whiskey?
I
I
don't know.
wonder-
It says it's served in the
'Cause-
Old West tourist saloons in Tombstone today.
Just think about it. Like the Old West,
Hey.
the Wild West was the 1800s. So
Yeah, that's where we get shots from. And
It was-
we get a lot of bar talk from
It was
that.
parodied in Mad Magazine and sold as
I love
Old
that.
Overcoat.
Old Overcoat.
If
Mm.
anybody's into
I
Mad
love Mad
Magazine
Magazine.
humor,
That's funny. Old overcoat.
that's actually pretty funny.
Sounds like a t-shirt of bounds, baby.
And then it's claimed to have been the alcoholic beverage of choice for notables ranging from Old West gunfighters to U.S. presidents, including Ulysses S. Grant and John F. Kennedy, and Secretary of State John Foster Dulles.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, Dulles is actually he's a pretty big deal, because you get Dulles International Airport from him.
Exactly, you sure
Um,
do.
But I do want to just point out, I question Ulysses S. Grant's taste in whiskey, because last week
liked
he
Old
also liked
Grandad.
Old Crow.
Sorry, Old Crow.
He
and
liked
I'm pretty sure,
Dr. James Crowington.
I'm pretty sure James
Old Crow
Crow.
whiskey.
They
That's
could-
what he liked.
But you kind of wonder, like, was this the best stuff that they had?
Well, let's
then?
find out.
Zach
Back
brings
then?
up a great point.
Because I mean, like,
Yeah.
there's so much that you have today, right? And I'm assuming there was quite a bit less brands, less availability
You know,
back in the
I agree.
1800s.
I'm
Well,
gonna
it
just
was the only brand,
call it out. If
actually.
you go back and watch last week's show, which I'm gonna since I have to edit this show and I had to have edited it so that this shows up, a link to the show from last week where we talk about Old Crow. We talked about how on Old Crow they messed up the mother. They messed up.
Yeah, Old Crow isn't even Old Crow.
They messed up the Old Crow so bad. The mother.
Go back and watch. We're not going to give the reveal.
That,
give the reveal.
And they didn't care. They didn't
Guys,
care. They were like,
yeah, if
just
you
keep producing it.
If you didn't catch the show, the Old Crow show, go back and watch.
Oh no, we ruined it and we made it trash. Just keep bottling it. Literally.
And they just
what happened.
And they just continued with the same match.
Go
and
listen to
everything.
that show because that show will have some good stories. All right, so now that we talk about that, Old
All right.
Overholt, I will tell you this. I've talked to some oldies but goodies, some old timers, and when I bring up Old Overholt as something laughable, I think that this has a hipster following because those of us in the bourbon community and the whiskey community of today, we all know somebody who says, Old Overholt, I used to drink that stuff like it was water. The same as somebody who says, 10 High, I used to drink that stuff like it was water. So this does, I know this has a following, had a following. It was a something, but yeah, we probably just came a lot further of recent. So Jim Beam, thanks for buying this up and thank you for keeping it as its almost original distillate. This is not Beam distillate, guys.
Correct. It is not as the old.
This is actually on their recipe. This is the Old Overholt recipe. So
I
with that,
James, I don't know.
James Crowington.
Crowington. Can we please have that show soon?
We need to have that shirt.
I want to have
I'm going to get you a shirt.
Fictional story of the Old Crow distillery.
With that, hey,
So
cheers
for that.
to having the three of us back in the saddle here.
So
And
with
cheers
this, the neat
to
glass, you're supposed to toast on the bell,
Ooh.
Oh,
or you
so
don't toast on the bell.
so
I
there's
think
no
they call it.
breakage?
Yeah.
Ooh, I am ready for this. I've been shaking all day long.
Oh God. Well, then this will do the
Is
trick.
Jonesing for the Old Overholt. Ooh. Ooh.
That is a rye bite.
Oh,
That's a rye bite.
That's a spicy rye.
All three of us coughed.
That's a spicy rye.
All three of us went, oh. But it's not terrible. That
No, it's
reaction
actually-
it's
it's
not
okay.
indicative
It's
of
okay,
how I feel.
but it is spicy as all hell.
That is very spicy.
So it's almost got the flavor. So this is 4-year-old juice, by the way. This has been aged for 4 years.
Hey, just really quick, let me throw this out there though. So that this has just happened a couple years ago. So first of all, this isn't even. This is a product. The bonded bottle was introduced in 2017.
Oh,
So we're not
the ori-
drinking the true straight rye whiskey.
So the
this
ori-
is the kind of not the original.
That's going to be 90 proof ish. I'm assuming, right?
For
the
No,
original.
I think it's
original?
less than that. I think it was at 84.
it was 43%. So 86 proof.
86. So this is
Yeah.
significantly higher than what regular Old Overholt is. That's good. That's a good call out.
But apparently a couple years ago it transitioned from a 3-year to a 4-year. So it
I don't know why
did.
you add the year on it. Rye can be young.
It doesn't have a year on it. This is just news that's on the internet.
Okay.
So
I mean, rye can be young. Our friends over at Thistle
Buns,
French.
it is. I'm telling you. Seems terrible.
I don't know that it seems terrible,
So here's the thing: the nose is not unpleasant,
but it's not good.
but it's not a
That nose is not good.
pleasant nose. Larry, yeah, it. I don't know, man. He's like didn't look smooth.
Ethanol punch.
Oh, definitely
lots
not
and
smooth.
lots and lots of spice.
So it has this. To me,
That's what ryes are like.
it has a really strange kind of ethanol, like, and this is probably just my personal preference, and this is like my personal opinion, right? I think different bottles that we drink, and this is just an assumption. I don't know if there's any type of truth behind this. And you guys maybe can shut me down. Maybe my opinion here is I'm pulling this out of my ass. I
Okay.
feel as if the quality of the ingredients in the mash bill, when they're very low, come across in the ethanol flavor
I agree.
of the juice.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I think this is super bottom barrel.
This is just low quality. I mean, you can kind of
So
taste
you can
it.
kind of taste that it's of a lower quality.
Yeah.
Well, how much is the bottle? Just curious.
The barley and the rye
This
is
was a $15 bottle. Zach.
$15.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, like, why would you put in super high
Sure,
quality ingredients.
not arguing
for a
any of
$15
that.
bottle.
I just want to say I think that what I've ascertained is with these, we'll call them not cost effective, but lower tier, lower priced bottles, you're definitely going to notice the difference in the ethanol, which is basically that alcohol kick. You're going to tell when it's cheap and when it's good.
Yeah,
right.
I'm going to agree with that. I do think that for those of us that drink and for those of you that don't, I think this is a good lesson to talk about. The alcohol percentage and proof is not indicative of whether or not something tastes good.
Exactly.
And I would also tell you, it's not indicative of a good quality spirit. That's a measurement.
Yeah.
By like the Weights and Means Committee that says it has this much percentage of alcohol in it.
Not that it's meaningless, but don't just go out there and hunt hazmat super high ABV bottles, guys.
Which is a lot
because for jungle juice.
We like that. We'll tell you to get a high proofed whiskey. We'll tell you to get a high
when it's appropriate
bourbon, and we'll tell you to get a high proofed
when it
rum
tastes good.
When it tastes good, and I think you're absolutely right, James. When you're using a high quality product, it really shines through, and so that's the difference between being able to take a high proofed, high alcohol spirit where you go, oh wow, that's smooth, right? That's where we call it smooth. It's palatable. Where you go,
palatable.
Oh wow, I can really enjoy that.
Exactly.
I can pick out complex
It's not
flavors.
rubbing alcohol reminiscing, right? Like
burn, and I think the burning is indicative of a low quality use of ingredient that gets you to that spirit. That's a really good point out, and something we've never talked about on
no,
this
we've
show.
not. We have not.
Ever.
I don't
We've
think we've
never
ever brought that up. So this is really an interesting thought that I had about that, right?
This tastes like. So for those of you that have ever
ingredients.
brewed beer, when you boil your bag of
your mash,
malt,
whatever,
and
grains,
grain, whatever it is you choose, if that's rice or
barley,
oats or whatever it is, whatever group that you put in your recipe, I can literally taste the raw ingredient in this whiskey. It does not blend well. It has not blended well to give a good flavor. And I think, James, you nailed it on the head. I think that's probably because they're using a cheapened set of quality ingredients. I really do. And I'm sorry, Beam, listen, we had nothing against you. But we also recognize that to keep costs low and to keep producing something that you acquired, you got to do what you got to do. That's business.
And here's the thing. This may be very similar to what it's always tastes like. I'm curious if someone has a very old bottle, 60s, 70s bottles of Old Overholt that we could compare it to. I don't think, since it's a rye, it's supposed to be kind of just spicy, medicinal, very straightforward alcohol, comes and goes, doesn't linger, no Kentucky hug.
No, it's probably a super fast slap chop. Let's make the whiskey, bottle it, and get it out to the masses.
That's really
kind of a process.
Yeah, probably
getting you buzzed. It tastes okay.
It does taste okay. It does, and it does taste okay.
Foul. It's not.
It tastes okay.
Yeah.
If you said Old Overholt bonded or early times, I'd take Old Overholt.
Old Overholt.
If you said Old Overholt bonded or Lucky 7, I'd take Old Overholt.
Anyway, it's not, to me, it does not fit. It doesn't check any of the boxes of my flavor profile.
No.
It is just a spicy mother. It's a spicy rye.
Freaking astringent is all home.
It's very astringent. Yeah.
It's
it feels so the burn. So you're right. It's no Kentucky hug.
No,
but it gives you the feeling. There is a burning feeling.
There's a burn, but not
it feels
good
like
way.
Heartburn. It feels like heartburn.
It actually does. But
that's what this feels like.
It's not a good way.
Yeah, you don't want to drink a whole lot of Old Overholt.
I wouldn't drink a lot of this. I do
One
think,
glass
however,
is good.
So I do think that Old Overholt. Let's talk about uses here.
Yeah.
And I do think that there are some, I think that it has some uses. All right. The first is, I think that this is a cocktailing whiskey. I think that this is a whiskey.
Thank you. I was just going to say that.
I think there's a lot of things that you could do with this, but I would say
a Negroni.
I wouldn't put it there where you need those flavor profiles to shine. I don't think it's got enough spice to shine. I think it's going to
old fashioned.
I think it's going to fall to its ingredients. But I think that if you want to throw this in a 7 and 7, if you want to throw this into a whiskey and cola, if you want to throw this into, you know what this would be great in? A Long Island. This would be a great Long Island mixer. It's great to be present, but get lost. It doesn't have to be shining there. That's just my thought.
Bun says it's marketed towards drunks that just need a cheap fix.
Woo!
I'm kind of I would say I agree with that.
I drink this out of a paper bag.
Chris Conrad, why fluff the kerosene?
Right. Yeah, this is for drinking for
and he
this
suggests
is drinking for effect. This is not drinking for pleasure.
Definitely drinking
this
for
is like
effect.
drink it and then go, okay, I'm buzzed.
He's also asking, he says throw a chip in it.
No.
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't. I would be afraid.
It's going to amplify the spice
to
in a bad
cut.
way.
Yeah,
I wouldn't cut this or add
I
a
wouldn't
chip.
cut this. I mean, I will. I will
Nice
cut it
guys,
for the
you
benefit of science, but I'm afraid to do it honestly.
Mrs. Askins, we did say I'm sorry, I'm just catching up on the chat here. The original Old Crow was a different recipe. It is. It was.
That's beam juice.
It's
That's
such
beam
a
distillate.
joke. I don't want to revisit that because this is not the Old Crow show, but you guys will go watch it and you'll see my rant. I'm surprised you are pouring another. I cannot believe that right now.
I am doing it for science. We're gonna
He's
cut
going
it.
to cut it.
We're gonna cut it.
All right, there he goes. You guys can see on camera here. He's going to do a cap cut.
Probably not even a full cap. I'm because
Just like
I did such a small cut. I'm just gonna add half a cup or half a
Okay.
cap of water.
You're about
There
to
you
meet
go.
that old Overholt.
Old Overholt.
Delicious. Wait for it.
But I here's the concern is when we've cut or cubed something of a similar nature, it brings out the flavor profiles that we don't like. That's the astringency, that
Oakiness.
acrid burnt
oak.
charred oak.
Yep. It's all
it doesn't
coming
bring sweetness forward. It brings all of the dry, tanniny, oaky properties forward. And listen, at 4 years, it's as young, but it's still got 4 years of barrel in it. And I don't think that should be discounted because it's very present. I think the oak flavor profile here is very present. Not in a terrible way, not in a
James's
great
favorite,
way.
of course,
it's just
right?
No,
there.
not my favorite at all under any
The
circumstance.
opposite of James's favorite. Sorry, buddy.
Oh.
Did it get yummier or grosser?
You know, it got differenter.
Oh, differenter.
It got differenter.
In what way? In a bad way or a good way or in just a different way?
It brings out the ethanol spice,
Oh.
it brings out the alcohol.
No, that's bad then. That is
You know,
that's
I
differenter.
don't think that it is.
That is differenter.
Actually,
Here,
I kind of like it.
I'll
It
put a
makes
little
it.
in mine.
It makes it kind of taste like chartreuse, meaning it brings out this kind of planty, vegetal, herbal flavor. Maybe highlight and capitalizing on something like anise.
Are we real? Are you sure you're not fluffing the kerosene?
I might be fluffing the kerosene a little bit here.
That's pretty good. I like that.
I'm gonna steal that one. That was a really good one. Fluffing the kerosene. That's funny. I'm fluffing the kerosene here a little bit, but it's
Oh yeah.
different.
It is-
How dare you
It is-
say,
it
"Oh
is-
yuck"?
It is not better.
So you missed it. I don't want to go back and say it because everybody's just watched it, but you should try it. You should try it. It doesn't bring out the acrid, charred barrel characteristics. It doesn't bring out the spices. It actually brings out the alcohol.
Yeah, it makes it. It gives it more freaking.
It makes it.
ethanol
It
taste to
brings the ethanol to the
No,
front.
It makes
Try it.
Wow.
Just
makes
try
it
it.
taste like rubbing alcohol.
It
to
kind
me.
of does. Try it.
Oh, ooh,
The nose-
it makes the nose super like
Hold on,
ethanol.
The nose is not a winner out of this bottle. It's not.
No.
But it brings out this vegetal, herbal, alcohol flavor. It's
I'm
weird.
tasting like
not
I'm getting
foul,
charcoal
but
out of
it's-
that, man.
It's not bad. You're getting charcoal.
Vegetal,
Yeah.
herbal.
I get like
that, yeah.
I'm getting like an herbal, like Jägermeister. I said like
Yeah.
chartreuse. I said it makes me
yes.
think of chartreuse is what it makes me think of. When you cut it, it brings out this herbally flavor.
Here's the thing. Here's what I think the verdict is. This is for cocktails. I would not.
I don't
Yeah,
think
he
sit
makes it-
there.
I don't think it's for cocktails even.
What do you think it is?
I think it's for the bottom shelf. I think that it's exactly where it needs to be. I appreciate that Beam is keeping something alive that has been a part of American heritage, but I would
Yeah.
tell you, now is the time to maybe relook at this Beam. Now is the time to maybe do something with this brand that you should have done a long time ago. Like, I love Russell's Reserve. I think there's a lot of good things that comes out of Russell's Reserve, and I think you should put them on this project. I think you have a great story, a great history.
You do.
I think you've got a cool brand name, and I think you deserve. It deserves some love.
Beach. I am right there with
It deserves some love. Okay.
Beam should definitely do that. What they need to do is take some of the older stocks, maybe, or start from scratch.
Start from scratch.
Do a high quality mash bill, right? Get like the best grains you can, the best rye you can, best corn.
Now is the time,
barley.
right? Now is the time. You guys got programs like the Legent program where you are hyper aging Beam distillate in the Japanese style and putting forth a product that is incredible. It's really
out
good.
There, you get a lot of barrel Lamaze way quicker than you'll get in like Kentucky, right?
I think now is the time to strike with this Old Overholt. You have an awesome name, a great story, a great product. You could do something with this, up your quality, and then bring in some distillers, some producers, some master blenders that want to do something with this.
I get a feeling there's a crowd out there that just loves the Old Overholt.
I don't.
And that's why they keep it as is.
I think they're done.
I think, a very aging crowd. I don't see any new people drinking this.
Hold on, Jimmy.
Like you said, maybe it's a hipster thing.
It is a hipster
Who
thing.
Who knows?
Like mellow corn. This is the mellow corn of the rye world.
But they're not drinking it because it tastes good, because it's hipster.
Jimmy, you had something you wanted to add?
Thank you. That's about damn time. Here's my recommendation, Jim Beam. Maybe blend this with a cross blend with another rye in their huge catalog of brands. You could have a winner there. I think this does have a spice complexity that is solid for a cocktail, not good as an easy drinker.
Ooh, no.
As like a daily sipper.
Absolutely.
But I think it's great in cocktails, and I think it does has a very pleasant spice forward taste, flavor. Not something I want to drink all the time. Will not drink it straight up. Maybe have a higher quality version of it distilled. Better mash bill. Maybe age it for an additional year. Maybe give us a barrel proof.
I think you're onto something there, because I was just going to tell you.
Blend it, like I said, with a different brand.
I think I think there needs to be barrel blending, not blending of the actual distillate. But could you imagine taking Old Overholt barrels?
Yep.
I think that, again, that vegetal herbal spice could lend itself to some very cool brewing projects.
Oh, definitely.
I think that could be cool.
Sour in this, like some type of lambic or something. That could be.
And then to your point, what if you took Old Overholt after 4 years? Let's go back to what you originally were doing, because they only changed to 4 years recently. What, like 2 or 3 years ago?
A couple years ago. Yeah, a couple years ago. 2017.
Prior to that,
maybe,
they were only doing 3 years. So let's go back to the 3-year. Keep it young. Let's take it out of those barrels and let's re-barrel it. So let's do some finished whiskeys. There's a lot of experimentation out there. I think this is a prime candidate for the finished whiskey program, where you could be
what would you
finishing
finish
this
it in or with?
Okay, we just had that 3-chord cherry bounce. This could be great in some sort of fruit, like a cherry or an orange. We just had an orange wine, an orange vino.
It needs just a little bit more complexity.
A little sweetness.
A VDN, like a Vino de Naranja barrel.
Yes, that could be cool. Or even, I'm going to step way out on this. Port. I think if you age this into a port barrel and to bring in some of that sweet, complex cherry port, that could be really cool. Maybe. I think, Jim Beam, I know you're not listening to us, but maybe you are. This is a cool project,
and you have the name, and I think it has the name and history to where you could do something really cool with it. I think you guys are missing the mark.
Yeah.
People writing checks for this for the $9.27 at the grocery store. You got to get away from that market.
One thing you have to remember though too. This is the barrel proof. This could taste quite a bit
The
different.
bonded. This is the bonded.
Yeah, I'm sorry, the bonded. Yeah, this could taste quite a bit different from the original.
It could. I'd be interested.
Yeah.
Bonded. I've never had a
We don't
a
like
bonded
bonded.
whiskey that I've really
Yeah.
said yes, go out and get this. This
You're
is
absolutely
good.
right, Zach. 100%. We hate bonded product on this show, and not because we want to hate bonded product, but I swear to God,
Don't
every
like
single
it.
time we pour
We've had anything
bonded,
that's bonded,
we
we're
go,
like, meh.
ugh,
That
wretched.
That
ugh."
6%. I mean, that 10%.
We don't like
whatever difference is.
You
it
said
makes
there was a
quite bit of
114 out
difference.
there.
There is a 114 out there.
Tell us about that.
So there's an old Overholt 114, which maybe we can try to get a hold of. If anybody has any
Barrel
needs,
Buddies.
let us know.
Take a look. Can
You
get us
guys.
this?
So
We
here's the
want
thing.
one.
Let's talk about availability. First of all, this is available everywhere. Every
Yeah.
day.
7-Eleven?
$15.
The
Yes.
bottom shelf
7-Eleven,
banger.
Bottom shelf banger. Based on tonight's results that we're giving you, I'm not going to recommend it. Is it worth $15 for you to still try it for the morbid experiment? Yes.
Well, then I think that you should lead us off with some numbers.
I
since
will, but
you're-
hold on. I
since
wanna
You're
get to
making
the- I
recommendations.
need to get to the chat really quick. So, Larry, don't throw up, please.
Yeah.
Chris Conrad,
He
how does
threw
it
up
stack
through
up
the
against
camera.
piggyback rye?
Not close. Not even close.
Not even close, man. I mean, you're looking at Whistle Pig, totally different ballpark flavor profile.
I like your
Canadian whiskey
question.
elements.
I'm
I do like it.
gonna restack that question because I think that there's a good question there. But in comparison to specifically Whistle Pig, there is no comparison. It's not even close.
Let's see here. Punky, simple cocktails or complex? Simple.
Definitely simple.
I'm talking like old fashioned
No,
Negroni.
This is your
Negroni.
well
I
whiskey.
disagree.
Yeah.
I don't even know that I'd call this a well, but yes, it's simple. You're looking for like
Even whiskey soda.
2
I'm
and
okay with
3
this.
ingredients, and I don't think this would stack well to a soda. I think just
Really?
cutting it again, that cut brings out maybe the wrong thing, and so now you're going to start adding more soda to it. I disagree. I don't think that's going to be good. We can try it, but I don't love it.
Bun says life's too short to drink this crap and
Yeah.
finish it in a garbage disposal.
Agreed.
Try old tub.
Yeah. Who is this?
Actually,
Who
I would
is
say-
this?
I would
It's
say
somebody
I
new.
take-
like that.
I'd take an old tub over this.
Delightful.
These guys. So here's the thing. These guys adore Old Tub. I
Do.
loathe
Now-
Old Tub.
There is a Jim Beam product that we could talk about that I think is delightful. The Old
Yeah.
Tub series, and I think that's what we'll do next week. Old
It's
Tub.
not even a series. It's a bottle of garbage.
It's not. It's a bottom shelf banger. We've done Old Granddad and Old Crow and Old Overholt and Old Tub. You are next on the list.
Old Overholt, Jimmy, nose 1, taste 1, value 1, for a whopping. I'm not even gonna give it a 30. I'm gonna give it a 29.
A $15 for a 750. You're saying is a
29.
one?
It's. I'm not putting my money towards this thing ever.
Dude,
I'm
Okay.
sorry, and this was probably where like Beam watched this entire episode. And they're
course.
like, let's throw out a sponsorship. These
Now they're
guys
like,
are
screw these
are
guys.
straight arrow. These guys like have it going on. We love the Barrel Buddies, and Jimmy just blew it over
Thanks,
here with
Jimmy.
shitting
Thanks,
on
Jimmy.
his 29 out of 100 score.
Hey, Beam, don't worry. There's still 2 more of us, and we're here to win you over.
Ew.
Zach. No, I'm
Or
going to give it to Zach.
Zach, go
Um,
for it.
Zach, talk
Yeah.
to us.
Yeah. So nose. I'm gonna echo James. Nose 1, smells like ethanol. Not too happy. Taste 1. It tastes like ethanol. I mean, it's a spicy rye. It's tolerable. I wouldn't want to drink it again. Price. Oh God, I'll give it a 1 as well. 111.
111, huh?
111.
And you're going to give it a what out of 100?
30.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because also, but like when it comes to the price, I know it's only a $15
Okay.
bottle, but you
Bourbon
can go
Cat.
out. You can go out and buy a freaking Evan Williams for what?
Same price.
Approximately the same price.
Same
I know
Less.
it's gone. I know it's gone. up-
$12.99.
Yeah, I believe that started at like $8. It's gone up to about
But,
11 or 12. Yeah, Evan Williams
But-
much better.
but
Not comparable, but like I'm just thinking about the price.
I've got to talk to you guys for a moment.
Ooh.
I'm going to bring in some reality here.
Oh, no.
I'm bringing some reality. You're talking about some regular bourbons, and what we are drinking in front of us tonight is the nation's #1 distributed rye whiskey at one point in time. This is a rye. This is not a bourbon. This is not a traditional whiskey. This is a traditional rye whiskey. And that's a big deal. And I think that's something that should be considered here tonight. That said, I don't really love the nose on this. I was considering giving the nose a 0, but I'm going to give the nose a 1. I think the flavor profile, honestly, guys, deserves a little better than a 1, but only a little. So I'm giving it a 1.5. And listen, it's a value. It's a 2. It's a 2 value. So that's a 1, 2, 4.5. James, I got to give it a 46. I got to get it a 46 to 47 out of 100.
All right.
Again, we didn't say it's wretched. We didn't stop drinking it. We didn't pour it down. Do we love it? No. Do we want to find something to do with it? Yes. I think that there are some things to do with it.
We have a special visitor.
Always with the show. Always. Jamba's been
Cat.
coming in.
So for those that don't know,
Bourbon Cat.
we believe Jamba's birthday. We're pretty certain, actually, that we got her a couple weeks old in March of 2003. And lo and behold, it is March 8th of 2023.
Well, I think it's a happy birthday, Jamba.
So happy birthday to Jamba the Bourbon Cat.
Happy birthday, J-Boo.
20 years old.
20 years young.
There we go. Say goodbye to your teenage years.
She's an adult now. She can almost buy alcohol.
You can almost drink
That's right.
whiskey.
One
almost
more
legal.
year, and you can be a real bourbon cat.
And for those that don't know, she unfortunately this year she did go blind. Well, not 2023, but 2022. So she doesn't have her sight, but she still hears us down here at the show and moseys on down from her perch.
We do love you, J-Boo. We do love you. Yeah, I think that's about it on Overholt, Old Overholt. So you gave it a what?
29.
What?
29.
30.
And I'm giving it a 46. I think I'm not scoring abnormally high, but I am saying that, listen, it's not a terrible product, but it's not also very good.
Whatever.
It's not,
Why don't you tell us what
not
we got
good.
coming up, Beej?
Guys, so next week we're going to do Old Tub. We got to do
We're
it.
gonna continue the old.
Gotta do
Scottish
Old Tub.
bangers.
Okay, on Wednesday.
So next Wednesday.
On Friday next week, live show, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's going to be 8 p.m. for all you East Coasters. Thank you for following us. So stay up
Big
just
show,
a little late
big
on
live
Friday.
Show.
I know you're saying, but it's St. Patrick's Day. We know.
We know.
That's why we're doing it. We have been a chosen
Chosen ones.
by this is a big deal. By a distributor. A distributor chose us schmucks to help our dear friends over at Beer Zombies
Dear friends.
debut the Slain Irish Whiskey Pick of the Year for Beer Zombies Irish Whiskey. We're real excited. We're gonna be out at Boulder City Live next Friday. So
Boulder City Beer Zombies live.
fabulous. Just
Starting, we're
fabulous.
probably going to start at least at like
5.
4 o'clock. 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock will be on the internets, but
Yeah.
if you're local to the area, please come join us.
Join us. Come in and have a
in
good time.
person.
So we've got Old Tub next Wednesday. We've got the new Slain Irish Whiskey Pick by Beer Zombies. It's going to come out on the 17th.
And we're going to have a lot of swag.
We do have some new swag that's
Be
going to be for
ready.
sale. And then I have to make a quick announcement. This Saturday, for staying in the spirit of the Irish here, I'll be shaving my head live.
Oh,
So we'll be posting live on the YouTube show, and we'll be
why?
live
what
on
are we doing? Why are we
live
shaving
on
your
the
head?
Instagram. But St. Baldrick's, I have signed up with St. Baldrick's
Oh.
to shave my head. To
Does that
help
also mean
fight.
beard? Are you going like? Are you
No.
just going woolly willy?
Nope.
You're
Keeping the
going
beard.
Woolly willy. So keeping
Nope,
the beard.
keeping the beard.
Yeah, keeping the
But
beard.
losing all of this, we're going to be going clean shaven in support of fighting childhood cancer. So if you would please go to the St. Baldrick's website, you can search for me, BJ Askins, Askins, and please donate. I'm looking for anybody and everybody to just donate $5 to this great cause to
Hey,
fight
and
childhood
we'll
cancer.
put the link.
And we're going to be
We'll put the link-
shaving
we'll
my
put
head.
the link down below for your to your St. Baldrick's
Thank you.
donation link.
I appreciate
When
that.
I end the show, I'll get that and I'll put it in the.
You're gonna put it in the chat. We're gonna edit
it won't
and
be
post.
immediate, guys.
We're gonna put it right here.
Give me like 10 minutes, and after the end of the show, and I'll get that link in the description.
So and check it out. And listen, if you want to get on it sooner than later, then go check out my Instagram handle, Kickaskins, KICKASKINS. Kickaskins. I've got my link there. But anything that you could do to help out on this,
Or
I really jumped into it this Saturday. It's going to be live at Corey's on Eastern, 4:45 p.m.
Okay, instead of personal promotion, why don't you see it'll also get posted on the Barrel Buddies
Or-
Instagram?
Or you can follow the link at the Barrel Buddies Instagram at the Barrel Buds.
There you go. There you go.
Live on Insta.
I was giving you a hard time.
But we'll post it up at both places. So yeah, we'll have that. We're gonna go live this Saturday for me shaving my head. That's gonna be crazy. Lots of great beers. There's gonna be a lot of good things going on over at Corey's as well this Saturday.
Everybody over there this Saturday.
Big deal.
Big deal for us.
And then next week, Old Tub and St. Patrick's. So we've got a stacked schedule. On top of that, I'm almost done with my sake review. So I'll have my sake review up for you guys as well on the website.
Well, that's it, guys. You know what's going on. We have the next. We have actually really busy next couple of weeks. So
We do.
that's
Busy.
great to hear.
Well, good.
So for Old Overholt and for the Barrel Buddies, I'm James.
When's that?
And I'm BJ. We'll see you next week. And